You're listening to Not So Live from Asteroid G. I am Mike Finkelstein. With me, as always, is...
Josh Schaefer.
Yes.
Private, first class.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, in the Terminator Wars.
Which is a fair point, because that was the segue we're going to use to go to talking about our topic right now. Because currently, although by the time this podcast posts, we may have already been past it at this point, but I'm going through the Terminator series, watching all of them again, because they're amazing. Most of them. Well,
Yeah.
Some of them. A couple of them.
At least the James Cameron ones.
Yes, at least the James Cameron ones, of which there may be a third one soon, if that ever gets finished. So, the Terminator series.
Yes.
I want to talk about them because they're amazing. What are your thoughts on the Terminator series?
They're brilliant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. But really, I think when we talk about it, we really are just talking that the brilliant ones are the first two and the TV show.
Yeah, I like Salvation.
Well,
I know.
Okay. Well, let's go. Let's start from the future and go into the beginning, and let's talk about the first one, which is Terminator, or the
Terminator,
which they then ditched, like they ditched the Facebook.
Yeah.
So
good for Facebook and Terminator.
It's better on both counts.
Yes.
So the first one, your feelings. When did you watch it? What did you like about it? Where are you at with it?
I actually, when I was a kid, I watched the second one first. Because this is a weird story, but my mom had a subscription to Columbia House, and I was obsessed with Kindergarten Cop with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Don't know if you remember that, but
It's a terrible movie, but yes.
I loved it when I was a kid.
You probably wouldn't love it now.
No, I don't.
Although somehow you still like Jingle All the Way, which is...
Phil Hartman's last movie. Have some respect.
Don't care.
And Jake Lloyd's maybe, or not, what's his name? Doesn't matter. The little stupid kid that lives in Indiana.
From Star Wars?
Yes.
That was Jake Lloyd.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Anyway.
Wow.
I have that on good authority from people who went to school with him.
Let's not cast stones right now, you were saying.
So, one of the Columbia House movies that came through was Terminator 2, and I begged my mom for months to let me watch it under the premise that Kindergarten Cop wasn't that bad. I was wrong. My mom finally let me watch it. I had nightmares for a long time because I was a wuss.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're like 4 years younger than I am.
34.
So you were not very old when that movie came out.
And it was like right when it came out in VHS in
1992. So
92.
you would have been what?
Young.
You would have been young. Okay,
I was born in 84, so 92 minus 84 is 8.
You would have been 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like 12 when that came out. That's right, yeah.
I was probably like 9-ish, probably more like it. But
when you finally actually got to see
10,
it.
Yeah. But
and we're a wuss. We've already established you were a wuss.
But I loved it since when I first saw it, and I still love it now. I know you're talking about Terminator 1, but I just want to...
Apparently we're not talking about Terminator 1 now.
No, but I didn't see Terminator 1 until not a long time, but a few years after that. But Terminator 1 still holds a special place in my heart. You get Kyle Reese, which is
He's great. Michael Biehn is great.
Yeah.
Bean, Bond,
I don't know.
Tron Bond, whatever.
Hicks.
Yeah. Hicks. Yes, Hicks. Hicks is in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I love them. Well, the first two.
The first one's pretty good for what it is. It feels much more, and I say this in my review on the website, but it feels much more like a slasher flick. But it's just like the last act of a slasher flick where you have the final girl, Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton, and she's running from the killer the whole time, and it's all about her escape from it. Now she has a guy that comes to protect her, but there's a lot of death, especially once the Terminator hits the police office. But it's much more of a slasher movie kind of vibe to it. Low budget, lots of kills. Yeah. The second movie takes the basic idea of the Terminator series and makes it feel much more like a sci-fi movie, whereas the first one has sci-fi trappings slapped to a slasher movie.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But the second one, I also liked it because it was like, this is my first clear memory of having seen like a real powerful woman.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like sexual feelings, but...
Well, I mean, I was young.
Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn was only in he was in the deleted scene in Terminator 2, so that doesn't count.
I know we're not talking about Edward Furlong, because...
I mean...
Not even as a grown man, no.
American History X was kind of cool. But...
Anyway.
But, I mean...
I mean, the thing that works really well about the second one is the Terminator versus Terminator action. And that's why it doesn't feel like a slasher movie at that point, because you've got two machines battling it out. And that premise really works best in that second movie, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Because the T-1000 feels more powerful than the T-800, the Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Robert Patrick T-1000 with his liquid metal and his cool blades feels more powerful, but not in a way that's undefeatable. Not
exactly,
in a way that's cheating, not in a way that feels overbalanced or whatever. It's a cool concept, and James Cameron animates it really well.
Yeah, and the special effects for that time were outstanding.
Still hold up.
Yeah,
they still hold up.
Like, there's stuff I just now notice after having watched that movie for over 20 years at this point. Like, when the T-1000's in the helicopter, he has that third arm that's just, it's like, what the hell?
Such
like
little details. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's so good. And for the most part, the CGI holds up, partially because they integrate it with practical effects so well.
Which James Cameron has always been great with that.
So good. His Aquaman is amazing.
Oh, so good.
But yeah, I think the second one does it because the balance is there. And even when the good Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, isn't like in the scenes and it's the humans having to battle the T-1000, it never feels to the point where like they couldn't potentially defeat it. Like, it's a difficult thing to fight, but there's still an equal footing to it. Unlike with anything that came out afterwards, like let's talk Terminator 3, which is a stupid movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, is it so dumb? From the moment that the Terminator, the T-850, yeah, because he's got a nuclear cell instead of whatever battery power. I guess like the T-800s worked off of like wind and solar. I don't know.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yes, absolutely.
The band, not the elements.
No. They are powered entirely by funk. So, yeah, but no, the T-850, which is still Arnold Schwarzenegger. Which let's make a point about this. This is something I mentioned like in my review of the original Terminator, but it makes sense in the first movie when you have human skin over like the metal endoskeletons.
Yeah,
that's the term they use, which is a technically correct term. It looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in that movie, and he's a big, burly, imposing dude. Yeah. So, I mean, aside from the fact that, your Terminator goes into a base and looks like a 250-pound Austrian when everyone there is, like, malnourished, that might stand out a little. Other than that, but then you realize that apparently every Terminator that rolls off the line looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you have to sit there going, at a certain point, this is no longer stealthy.
Yeah.
I swear I've seen that Austrian guy before.
That's a part of the continuity I kind of skip because that's the only time that was part of the continuity.
But it's always a part of the continuity.
I guess Salvation.
Because he shows up in Salvation too. It's 4 of them. 5 when you count the one in Genesis. There's 5 of these bots that roll out. I know. And they all look like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they were all made by Skynet to be integration bots that are supposed to lurk into a base and kill everyone. And you're sitting there going, you all look like this big, burly Austrian dude. At a certain point, I'm going to see like 5 of you guys walking around like, I really doubt they're quintuplets.
We've already killed 7 of his brothers.
I know. How many Arnold Schwarzenegger guys are there going to be out here?
Well, it messes with the continuity because in like a couple of the other ones in the TV show, they show other Terminators that have different skin suits.
Yeah. So at a certain point, you're sitting there going, why do they all look like Arnold Schwarzenegger? Aside from the fact that, people expect the big star to show up, it would have made more sense for them to all look like different dudes. Like you don't expect every T-1000 to look like Robert Patrick.
I mean, I do.
Okay, fair point. Or like Kristana Loken, I think is the name of the TX. Is that what the model's called? Why doesn't she get a number? Yeah. I don't understand that either.
Because it was the 90s.
She's the T10.
Or was it, when did that come out? 2001?
I watched Malcolm X. It's T10, isn't it? Malcolm the 10th. No, but it wasn't 90s. It was 2003 or something. Yeah, something like that.
I feel like it was about when I graduated.
Early aughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I haven't gotten to that movie for the reviews yet, so I don't know the exact date, but I'll have to watch it. But yeah, Kristana Loken. Are we assuming that every TX bot looks like her? Because, the Robert Patrick liquid metal guy and Kristana Loken, they both have the ability to make themselves look like anyone, but they always have a default skin that's the particular actor. So there's programming in these metal skins that says you're going to look like this person. But they all end up looking like Robert Patrick and Kristana Loken then? Is that the thing? They're not stealthy.
I thought Terminator 3 was taken out of continuity.
It hasn't been yet.
Okay.
No, because Salvation kind of acknowledged it existed, and then Genesis didn't say that the previous movies didn't exist, just that once the new Terminator was sent back, the new version of Arnold Schwarzenegger went back and killed the old version of Arnold Schwarzenegger in a really weird convoluted time loop, that the other movies didn't happen, even though certain events are mirrored.
Yeah.
So,
Genesis was awful.
Oh my God. You like Salvation. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it was okay.
Terminator 3 is stupid because the Terminator in it, the TX, is a metal skeleton with laser weapons and a metal liquid skin. And
it was very 2003.
It's like, let's put every idea we have in there and not make it work within continuity.
Yeah. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger was good in it. Ish.
He didn't really get a lot to work with.
And the guy who played John Connor did not do
Nick Stahl?
Yeah, I think it was Nick Stahl.
I mean, he was out-acted by Claire Danes.
Oh, yeah.
It's Claire Danes.
Yeah.
So he
did an okay job, but it was just... He didn't seem to have, like, the raw energy that... Like,
Edward Furlong.
I know. But Edward Furlong, say what you will about him. I know he, he did a good job, right?
I mean, I will say Nick Stahl was not the worst John Connor we've ever gotten. That would be Christian Bale.
Oh, I agree with that.
Oh, Batman voice.
That wasn't he didn't need to be in that at all.
No, John Connor wasn't necessary to that plot line.
No.
I liked Anton Yelchin as young Kyle Reese. That was
rest in peace, Anton Yelchin.
Well, and I mean, I appreciated the fact that he was a Kyle Reese that actually looked like someone that could grow up to be Michael Biehn. Yeah. Not facial wise, but body type. Yeah. And you could see him not getting because Michael Biehn was not a big burly dude.
No, he was like a lean dude.
Yeah. I mean, if you expect Anton Yelchin, if he at least got regular rations or whatever, he'd grow up to be the same body type. So.
Yeah, and they had some good throwbacks to how he held his shotgun and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I have a problem with Salvation not in most of the main plot line with a Terminator that somehow has a human soul or something. It wasn't really well explained, and if it had been a trilogy like they were originally intending, it probably would have gotten better explained, but it didn't.
I liked Moon Bloodgood in it, and
the part where the movie lost me was in the last act. They go into the Terminator facility, and these new Arnold Schwarzenegger-looking Terminators come out, which is stupid, but they come out. And then they start fighting, was it John Connor?
Yep.
And they have him, and they pick him up, and they throw him. And they pick him up, and they throw him. And it's let's just play Frisbee with John Connor, and they just keep throwing him. When all you have to do to end the human resistance is pick him up, put your hand on his windpipe, and crush. Because they're strong, and his windpipe isn't.
Yeah.
But they never do that once. He fights, I don't know how many Terminators in that base, and they're all like, wee, let's throw John Connor.
Yeah, there was...
What was that?
And then the whole, open heart surgery thing, or...
Yeah, take the Terminator's heart and put it into John Connor, because somehow throwing him around a bunch bruised his heart.
It was a very Star Wars Episode 3 ending.
Well, because originally they were supposed to take his skin off of him and put it on the Terminator, and John Connor wasn't the John Connor we know as the leader of the Resistance. Wasn't actually John Connor. But then someone was like, "This is a really stupid idea. Let's just reshoot the ending and just give him his heart or something," which wasn't really any better. But no, it was all still really stupid.
It felt like a lot of bad studio decisions.
Yeah. I think we're all glad that didn't become a trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then we had Genesis. Oh, Genesis.
It could have been so good, but it was so bad.
Well, I mean, Genesis did one thing that I thought was interesting. The first act where Kyle Reese is sent back and starts going through the motions of the first movie, and then suddenly everything is different because a Terminator had been sent back to Sarah Connor and changed the whole timeline. Mm-hmm. Saying, we can just keep sending them, and the timeline is malleable, and things that happen in the future will happen differently, but the actions are still in the past and everything. Because, the implication is that Kyle Reese got sent back, and then this future Terminator is sent back even further, which doesn't affect Kyle Reese being sent back, so all these actions are independent of each other now.
Yep.
So the actions can change. And I liked that primarily because they basically cribbed it from the TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Because the TV show was amazing and no one watched it. I wish more people had watched it because...
It got foxed.
Well, but I mean, it didn't get Fox the way Serenity did.
No.
Because they actually gave it a second season. They did give it and they tried. They tried to get that to be a hit with people, and no one watched it. It's not Fox's fault. And I mean, it was good, and it was getting better every episode, and it had some really good twists and turns, and introduced some new characters to the continuity I really liked.
John Henry was the best Terminator.
John Henry was interesting. I really liked not Kyle Reese, the other Reese boy. Wasn't that a period drama? It was about the two Boleyn girls, but it was played by
Anne Boleyn,
yeah. No, the dude from 90210 who was Kyle Reese's brother, and he got sent back.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. He was the best
awesome.
Character on the show. He was fantastic.
I completely forgot about that plot
so
line.
good.
Such a bad nerd.
So good. And then the show had this huge cliffhanger ending that they were expecting to get a third season or a movie or something.
Yeah, they were supposed to do a comic book at one point too, but I don't remember ever seeing it.
Nothing ever happened, and it just got ended. And then, I mean, at least the guy behind that show, not Josh Trank, that's someone else. Josh something.
Is it me?
Yes, it's you.
Sweet.
You were behind that show. Did you not know?
Oh my God.
That's why it got canceled.
Shit.
But no, he's been tapped to be in the writer's room for the new Terminator they're making.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, so, we're not going to get an ending to the TV show. He's like, we're going to make a backdoor episode and just do it this way. No, we're not going to get that. But at least they realized that the show had some really good ideas, even if no one was watching.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I loved the show. Loved this show. Like, what was it Lena Headey?
Lena Headey.
Yeah.
Lena Headey, whatever, yeah.
AKA Cersei from Game of Thrones.
Totally different character on Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not a brother. But she did a really good job as Sarah Connor, and then Summer Glau as Robot.
Yeah, the whatever Terminator model. She was supposed to be like a
1X was a one.
She had a specific designation.
Yeah, I can't remember what the designation was.
But she was basically a T-800 with a little girl body.
Yeah.
She did a ballerina body, I guess I should say.
She did a great job with it.
And that's one that took a plot element from Salvation, because in like late second season, it's implied that she was human and then she was turned into a Terminator. So it's like that was really interesting, and sadly, we're never going to get follow up on it. And it makes me so sad.
Me too.
So sad.
I have to see if they ever made those comic books, because I feel like they may have.
Please look into that.
Yeah.
So Genesis, though.
Yes.
Getting back to Genesis, that first act was good, except for one major problem. Jai Courtney.
Oh, yeah.
Who's bigger and burlier than the Terminator sent to protect Sarah Connor. Like, when you're a bigger dude than Arnold Schwarzenegger, you do not play Kyle Reese. Kyle Reese is a lean, malnourished guy sent back from a future where humanity is on the brink. And when you have a dude who looks like he eats like 5 babies a day and like power lifts a Buick, he is not like, it's not like someone who it just doesn't make any sense for me.
Yeah. I know, I've thought the same thing. The casting was weird. Like,
well, there was a little while there where Hollywood really wanted Jai Courtney to be a star. And then we all realized this man can't act.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Daenerys.
The chick?
Yeah,
I know who you're talking about. Daenerys from
it's based on her name.
Because apparently the Terminator series just absorbs one way or another every Game of Thrones person.
Right? Like, I don't think she wants to be called Daenerys for her entire life.
She doesn't, but she's going to be.
Yeah.
Like she says she's never going to do a nude scene again because of all the time she's had to do on Game of Thrones. And then after saying that, she did another one on Game of Thrones. You're like, where's the consistency? I mean, I appreciate your stance, but, you know, if you don't want to do it, just stop doing it. Like, we don't need to see your tits again. We've seen them. We're done. Move on with that at this point. Just go be an actress now.
Yeah. I mean, I thought she did a great job, though, with playing Sarah Connor.
She was a good Sarah Connor. She just was let down by the fact that Kyle Reese on that movie is an absolute void.
They had no synergy. That's what made it work in Terminator 1.
Chemistry. Absolute chemistry.
Like,
and
I believe that they were actually banging under a bridge.
She had more chemistry with the Terminator sent to protect her than she did with the dude she's supposed to be in love with.
Yeah.
He was a total void. Yeah.
They should have just blasted him away at the beginning and made
And somehow this movie made more money than Fury Road.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so mad about that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it didn't make enough to warrant a sequel, and Hollywood decided to just drop it and not do the trilogy they had planned. Terminator keeps trying to get pre-planned trilogies, and
you need someone who has a sci-fi brain and not an action movie brain.
James Cameron.
James Cameron.
You need James Cameron.
Yeah, like Ridley Scott would do a good job, I think.
I know he's not directing it. I know he's just he got the rights back to his movies, and he put together a writer's room to have someone else make the movie. But I'm just surprised James Cameron is at all interested in doing another Terminator at this point, because it doesn't have any water in it. All he likes to do is water things now. Ocean exploration,
Abyss,
Titanic, and Aquaman. Yeah, I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think part of it, too, is if I put my heart and soul in Terminator 1 and 2, because Terminator 2 is arguably his best movie, I think.
Well, not just his best movie. I would argue that the first two Terminators are perhaps the best of action cinema for a generation since the 80s. I mean, Terminator 1 came out in the 80s, and it's completely unlike anything else Arnold Schwarzenegger made, and I would still argue it's one of his best movies ever.
Oh, for sure. And he has 2 lines in the entire movie.
Yeah, he's a giant of action cinema, and this is probably his best work.
Yeah.
It plays to his strengths.
Yeah. And, it's been kind of dragged through the mud, so I think he's just trying to leave a legacy that's not...
You guys want us freaking Terminator 3? Fine, let's do one that's actually not terrible.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Because I can't imagine he's really proud of his brainchild turning into what it has.
The thing that launched his career, and then it's become this shit show.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair. Okay, so let's just pretend, I don't know if you've kept up with news at all about it, but let's just pretend that you know nothing about the next Terminator.
Yeah.
What do you want to see the next Terminator's plot to be? What is it you expect your ideal final chapter in a trilogy of Terminator movies, ignoring everything else that's come out and knowing that we can't get a conclusion to the Sarah Connor Chronicles?
So just pretend 1 and 2?
Well, just 1 and 2, and then your ideal third movie. What is it?
So since Arnold Schwarzenegger is, age happens, it's been a good 20 some odd year, 20, 30 years since...
34 years.
Oh, wow. I'm 34 years old.
So this movie came out... Terminator was 1984, so it came out the year you were born.
So, nice. That might be why I love it so much. But, so...
You go and look at other 1984 cinemas wow, everything else here is shit.
But, so you have an aged
action
star. So, obviously, he had some, his persona pre, Skynet blowing up the world had something to do with something, right? His original human host body.
Sure, they had said in Terminator 3 he was a general or something. Maybe you don't need that. We're talking different continuity, but still a similar setup.
So have old Arnold Schwarzenegger,
human version,
and have him interact. Maybe not a general, but a scientist of some sort or something.
That's like Denise Richards, nuclear scientist, and James.
He was a great scientist in
Jingle All the Way.
Not Junior. He wasn't a scientist. He was like a broker or something. Junior is what I was going to say. And twins. Boom. But you have him, and it explains how the T-800, why he created it or what have you.
I just had the realization that Twins stars the Penguin and Mr. Freeze.
Just now?
Yes.
They're making triplets with Eddie Murphy soon.
He was supposed to be Robin.
Yeah.
That would have been really frightening. But they keep saying they're making triplets. They've been saying they've been making triplets for 12 years.
I think it got greenlit finally. But we'll see. I'm not going to believe it. Anyway. So you have Mr. Schwarzenegger, scientist
Schwarzenegger.
Believe it or not, I've read that he doesn't actually have an Austrian accent anymore. He can speak perfect English.
Oh, I'm sure he can. And don't get me wrong. I fully understand that action stars can be smart people, because I think Dolph Lundgren has a nuclear physics PhD. I'm not saying they're dumb people, and he was the Governator. Yeah. So I don't see in my head scientist and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's time for him to get out of the
move outside his box.
Outside of his box. It's time for him. He's a smart dude. I've heard him string together multiple sentences, enough to say,
which is more than our president can do right now.
That's exactly my point. So have him do something that creates the T-800s.
Okay.
Or at least the one, and maybe
CGI his face onto that.
Don't even do that. Fuck that. It's just mentioned as a side thing. He's not in the entire movie as a Terminator. I know, a lot of fans
have
would
him
be
design
pissed.
the basic robot and have some other random big burly dude who's not Jai Courtney play him.
Exactly.
Okay.
Maybe make the dude who plays the Mountain in Game of Thrones to keep the Game of Thrones thing alive.
Oh, the Mountain would be the best. He's so frightening. He doesn't even have to say anything. He just wanders around being scary.
Yeah, this is like first generation Terminators, right? Like, they're going to be bigger, so...
Can we then get the Hound to be the guy that has to protect whoever is supposed to be protected? Because, like, as a lean, scary fucking dude who can, looks like he's malnourished and, like, a little crazy, the Hound would be perfect.
No, Peter Dinklage. Action star.
Wait, can we reverse it? Can we make the Mountain like Kyle Reese and then Peter Dinklage the Terminator? Because I would pay so much money to see it. Like, not only would it be a comical like look to it, but I honestly think Peter Dinklage would own, but then he'd act the shit out of it.
No, I know. Peter Dinklage is an amazing actor.
He is so fantastic.
Like, he could act his way, like, I don't care what he's in, I will see it.
And you gotta give him credit. Like, having that dude play a Terminator, you would never think he was a Terminator. He would be the perfect infiltration bot.
People would just...
And they just killed him.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's still super strong.
You know what? I don't even know what your idea was. That is my movie.
That's
right
my
there.
idea.
That's my idea now too. The perfect Terminator movie is Peter Dinklage as the Terminator. I'm in.
Yeah.
I am in right now.
And he could still act like...
Oh, it'd be brilliant.
Perfect.
So good. Okay, I think we're good on that now.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Finkelstein.
And I'm Josh Schaefer.
And we will see you next time.
Peter Dinklage, please be in our movie.
Please.